Welcome to this epic exploration of one of the most significant narratives in human history, the monumental journey recorded in the Book of Numbers. Greetings everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we delve into the ancient sands of time to witness a nation being forged in the wilderness. Over the next 10 minutes, we will follow the Israelites through their greatest challenges and most profound spiritual lessons during their 40-year pilgrimage. Let us begin our journey at the foot of Mount Sinai, where the organization of a holy people first took shape under the blazing sun of the desert. The story begins with a divine command to count the people, marking the first major census of the newly liberated nation in the barren wasteland of Sinai. Every man over the age of 20 who was capable of military service was meticulously recorded by their ancestral house and tribe. This massive logistical undertaking established a clear sense of identity and order for the millions who were about to embark on a perilous trek. Divine instruction dictated the precise arrangement of the camp, with the sacred tabernacle positioned at the very heart of the entire community. The tribes were assigned specific cardinal directions, creating a powerful visual representation of a society centered around their spiritual sanctuary. This organized structure served as a constant reminder that their unity and strength were fundamentally rooted in their shared commitment to a higher purpose. The tribe of Levi was set apart for a unique and essential responsibility, tasked with the care and transportation of the Holy Tabernacle and its sacred furnishings. Unlike the other tribes, they were not counted for military service, but served as the spiritual guardians and logistical experts of the portable sanctuary. Their dedicated service ensured that the presence of the divine remained accessible to the people throughout their many travels and transitions. Laws regarding purity and the special vow of the Nazirite emphasized the importance of individual devotion and holiness within the larger community. Those who took the Nazirite vow dedicated themselves to a period of strict separation, abstaining from certain foods and practices as a sign of their consecration. These regulations highlighted the idea that every member of the nation had a role in maintaining the spiritual integrity of the entire encampment. Guidance for the journey was provided by a miraculous pillar of cloud that rested above the tabernacle, indicating when the people should stay or move. At night, the cloud transformed into a brilliant pillar of fire, providing light and a visible sign of protection to the vast multitude in the darkness. This constant manifestation of divine presence offered reassurance and clear direction to a people navigating the uncertainties of a vast and trackless wilderness. To coordinate the movements of such a massive population, 2 silver trumpets were crafted and used to signal assembly or the start of a journey. The distinct blasts of these instruments served as a communication system, ensuring that every tribe could respond in unison to the calls for action or worship. These trumpets became a symbol of the organized and responsive nature of the nation as they prepared to depart from the mountain of the law. After nearly a year at the base of Mount Sinai, the cloud finally lifted, signaling the moment for the Israelites to begin their long-awaited trek toward the land of promise. The tribes moved out in their assigned order, carrying their families and their newfound identity into the rugged terrain that lay ahead of them. This departure marked the transition from a period of instruction to a period of practical application and testing in the harsh reality of the desert. The initial excitement of the journey was quickly tempered by the hardships of the wilderness, leading to the first of many complaints among the people. At a place called Taberah, their discontent sparked a fire that consumed the outskirts of the camp, serving as a sobering warning about the dangers of ingratitude. This event revealed the underlying tensions and the fragility of their commitment when faced with the daily struggles of a nomadic existence. Even the closest leaders were not immune to the challenges of the journey, as evidenced by the internal conflict between Miriam, Aaron, and Moses. Their questioning of authority led to a temporary but significant disruption in the camp, resulting in Miriam being afflicted with a skin disease for a period of 7 days. This incident underscored the necessity of humility and the potential for personal ambition to hinder the progress of the entire community. Upon reaching the borders of Canaan, 12 scouts were sent to investigate the land, returning with evidence of its incredible fertility and the strength of its inhabitants. While Joshua and Caleb urged the people to move forward in faith, The other 10 scouts spread a report of giants and fortified cities that paralyzed the nation with fear. This pivotal moment of decision would determine the fate of an entire generation and delay their entry into the Promised Land for decades. As a consequence of their refusal to trust and move forward, the nation was sentenced to wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the rebellious generation passed away. This long period of transition served as a time of education and refinement for the children who would eventually inherit the land their parents had feared to enter. The wilderness became a vast schoolroom where the importance of faith and obedience was taught through the daily experience of survival. Internal challenges continued during the wandering years, most notably during the rebellion led by Korah and a group of prominent leaders against the established order. This challenge to authority was met with a dramatic and catastrophic event as the earth opened up to swallow the rebels and their households in the sight of all the people. This powerful demonstration of divine judgment reinforced the importance of respecting the chosen leadership and the order established at Sinai. To settle the dispute over the priesthood once and for all, 12 rods were placed in the tabernacle, and the rod belonging to Aaron miraculously budded and produced almonds overnight. This living sign served as a permanent witness to the divine selection of Aaron's family for the sacred duties of the priesthood among the tribes. The budding rod was kept as a reminder that authority in the nation was not a matter of human ambition, but of spiritual appointment. In the desert of Zin, the people once again faced a severe lack of water, leading to a moment of frustration and a significant error by their longtime leader. Moses was instructed to speak to the rock, but in his anger, he struck it twice with his staff, resulting in water flowing but also a personal consequence for his disobedience. Even amidst human failure, the needs of the people were met, showing the persistent provision that sustained them through their most difficult times. When a plague of poisonous snakes afflicted the camp due to further complaining, a unique remedy was provided in the form of a bronze serpent raised high on a pole. Those who had been bitten were instructed to look at the bronze image to receive healing and a chance to continue their journey through the wilderness. This event became a lasting symbol of the power of faith and the availability of grace even during periods of divine discipline and struggle. As the 40 years drew to a close, the new generation began to secure significant victories over the kingdoms that blocked their path toward the Jordan River. The defeat of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, provided the Israelites with their first territories and a much-needed boost in confidence. These military triumphs signaled that the period of wandering was ending and the era of conquest and settlement was about to begin for the nation. The king of Moab, fearful of the approaching multitude, sought to hire a famous prophet named Balaam to pronounce a curse upon the organized tribes in the valley. Despite the king's promises of great wealth, Balaam found himself unable to speak anything other than words of blessing and prosperity for the people he had been hired to condemn. This divine intervention demonstrated that no external curse could succeed against a nation that was under the protection of a higher power. One of the most unusual incidents in the journey occurred when Balaam's own donkey spoke to him, rebuking the prophet for his spiritual blindness and stubbornness. The animal saw a divine messenger with a drawn sword that the prophet had failed to perceive, saving Balaam from a potentially fatal encounter on the road. This story served as a reminder that even the humblest of creatures could be used to communicate important truths and redirect the path of the powerful. From the heights of Peor, Balaam delivered 4 powerful oracles that celebrated the future greatness and the royal destiny of the nation encamped below him. His words spoke of a star rising out of Jacob and a scepter out of Israel, pointing toward a future king who would bring lasting peace and victory. These blessings confirmed that the Israelites were not just a group of nomads, but a people with a significant role to play in the unfolding history of the world. On the plains of Moab, a second census was conducted to count the new generation that had been born and raised during the long years of wandering in the wilderness. This counting was a significant moment of transition, identifying the individuals who would soon cross the Jordan to inherit the land promised to their ancestors. It represented the successful completion of the wilderness journey and the readiness of a new people to face the challenges of their future home. As the journey approached its final conclusion, Joshua was publicly commissioned as the successor to Moses, ensuring a smooth transition of leadership for the upcoming conquest. He was encouraged to be strong and courageous, drawing on the lessons learned during the decades of wandering and the strength of his own unwavering faith. This moment of passing the torch secured the future stability of the nation as they prepared for the most critical phase of their entire history. The final chapters of the Book of Numbers detail the boundaries of the new land and the specific instructions for the tribes as they prepared to cross the river. This period of waiting on the plains of Moab was a time of focused preparation, where the laws and lessons of the wilderness were finalized for their new settled life. The nation stood on the threshold of their destiny, ready to transform from a nomadic people into a settled and flourishing society in their own territory. We have reached the end of our journey through the Book of Numbers, a story that continues to inspire and challenge us even thousands of years later. Thank you for traveling with us through the wilderness today, and may your own paths be guided by the lessons of faith and perseverance we have shared.